Welcome to the Pearls of Wisdom podcast, where we mix business, law of attraction, spirituality, and well-being with great guests and phenomenal stories. You'll hear hints, tips, and up-to-the-minute information on digital communication from an expert in her field. Pearl has some wonderful individuals in her networks, and she will be interviewing them all at some point in the future. Enjoy your listening.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to Pearls of Wisdom podcast. And today I will be speaking to Stephanie of Stephanie Thompson Coaching. I have known Stephanie for quite a while now, and she is phenomenal. I've really learned so much from her, and as soon as I knew I was going to start to run a podcast, Steph was the first person I thought, right, I've got to interview her and get some background and everything and share all the information that I've learned and helped me grow so much. I want to give everyone else the chance to actually hear how fantastic Steph is. So,
oh, that's so kind of you to say, Pearl. That's really lovely.
Well, credit where credit's due. You have brought me on so much. We've got that affinity, and I learn from you. I think we learn from each other and we help each other grow. And I thought, well, great, let's start to share all that knowledge and see just how far we can actually put that out into the world and see just how it's going to help everyone. Because I think everyone that listens to today's podcast will really get some great nuggets of information from you.
Oh, let's see how we go.
Right, starting from that, we'll start with the first question, which is, can you describe your career path to date?
Well, yes, that's interesting. I started in corporate life. I was in aerospace, believe it or not, for about 17 years, and then I became a business consultant. So I worked in still in engineering, but also in education. And then, you know, when you're a kid and people say, what do you want to do when you grow up? So I never really knew. I just fell into my corporate career. But when I was about 50-ish, I started on the world of personal development, and that absolutely lit me up. And so I've gone on to become a coach and a mentor and have my own business, and I'm growing, and it's just evolving all the time.
Brilliant. And as you can see from, like we said, everything that you're doing, just when you're talking about it now, you can hear the passion come through in what you're saying, which is lovely. And I think as soon as you're doing something you love, that rubs off with everyone else, and the passion and enthusiasm, everyone else gets involved, and you find that people learn quicker and everything because they can see and attune to what you're saying from there. So I will go on to the next question.
Okay, then.
Can you name 3 things that made you choose your current career and why?
I absolutely love helping people. So part of my corporate career was coaching apprentices, believe it or not. And that's when I really came into my forte. As I look back on my corporate life, it was always about training. It was all about people. And I love doing that. And I now concentrate on helping new coaches establish their business. So I'm coaching them in growing their business, in getting the systems in place, in attracting their first clients, and just having that engagement with those new coaches, helping them grow personally and their knowledge grow with the businesses, with setting up their business. It's just my forte. It's not hard work to me. I love it.
And also, if we look at the current situation, what the services you offer is absolutely perfect, because we've got so many people that want to either from lockdown are thinking, yes, we want to start putting something else out there, and you've got that perfect service that you can actually handhold, show people exactly where to go, what steps to take, and actually see that. And it's brilliant. It's brilliant. I love it.
Yeah. Yes, they've been gone through voluntary severance or redundancy, or, as you know, furloughing at this current moment in time, etc. Or even retired, you know, and they just want to do something. They don't want to sit in front of the TV until you know. So from that perspective, yes, there is I'm really, I love engaging with those people. I've experienced redundancy, I've experienced voluntary, I've experienced all of that. So from that perspective, it's just a perfect fit. It just is a perfect fit.
And we'll also been thinking the people that are furloughed, it will actually make them come out of this lockdown and maybe look at doing a side hustle, which again is something you'd be able to help people actually set up, because so many people have lost their income so immediately and it's come at such a shock. The potential for when we come out of this, I think, is phenomenal. I'm quite excited, and you're in the perfect position. That's what I'd say to the listeners. If you're thinking, right, I want to try something new or add a side hustle to what you're already doing, Steph is the lady to speak to.
And the best of it is, when I'm helping them, I only encourage them to use free systems. I don't say you've got to spend £500 on a website, you've got to do this, that and the other. I promote free systems in them using it so that they can actually get those first clients to pay them, so that they've got money. They're not starting their business in debt. And when I look back, I actually started my coaching business for £25. But with hindsight, I didn't need to spend that £25. It's all very, very doable without actually having to spend money out. So when you hear of these coaches saying, I've got my website and I've spent this and I've spent that and I owe £150,000, no, it's not needed. Not needed at all. Come and talk to me.
Definitely. Go on to the next question. Following from that, I'm loving this. We're already learning so much. What key values does your business offer you?
For me, my business offers me freedom, because I am able to sit at my kitchen table. I don't have to kowtow to anyone. I can work the hours that I want. It also brings me courage, because by expanding out of areas where you're not your most comfortable is a point of growth. So I am growing all the time. So yes, I've gone through that phase where you're doing your very first Facebook Live and you're thinking, how on earth am I going to do this? And you're stumbling over your words, or you decide to do it, you record it first, and then you'll load it up as a video. And after about 25 takes, you actually get something you're happy with. I've been through all of that. So courage is a big one for me. Contentment and joy, because I so love the work that I'm doing now. I have no stress or anything. I just enjoy every single day.
And it comes through. I know I keep saying this, but it does come through. You can actually hear the passion in your voice, and so everyone's going to start to follow that and everything. And as I say to the listeners here, you can probably hear it. Steph knows her stuff. She loves it, and it really, that enthusiasm just rubs off on everyone else. So it's brilliant. And I will go on to the next question from that, because I'm loving this. This question I throw in, it's almost like just to change the ideas. What keeps you awake at night?
I have to admit, nothing at all. Absolutely nothing keeps me awake. It is bliss. My mind is silent. I know what I'm doing. I have a plan. I know what I want to bring to my community, and nothing keeps me awake. From being a coach, being able to live the life that I love and being content in what I do, I think that just says I have no stress. I'm just, it's my perfect world, my perfect life. And if I can bring that to others, and so, we've talked about my ideal clients possibly will have come out of corporate life and they've been stressed up to the eyeballs. You and I have both lived in a corporate world. We know what it's like. And for me to now live this life, I've recently been given this Fitbit, and I am constantly down in the blue on the stress measure. It never comes out the blue. It's bliss. So to be honest, Pearl, nothing keeps me awake at night. Sorry.
But that is brilliant. And to a lot of the listeners, if you follow energy work and spiritual work, this is one lady that is completely in flow, and it is so obvious with that answer.
Yes, I am in flow. Nothing is hard for me. It's great.
Oh, that is brilliant. That is brilliant. Right, I'm going to move on to the next question. Where and how do you work best?
I love sitting at my kitchen table. I live at my kitchen table, believe it or not. I do work in other areas. I have ended up in the likes of a cafe down in town and this sort of thing. But in actual fact, I love sitting at this table. It's bliss. I've got my garden one side and I've got the lounge the other side, and it's bliss. How do I work best? I love being in flow and in the zone and creating content. I did a Facebook Live this morning, and I was sharing all about the mechanics of a 5-day challenge. I'm growing a membership site and all this creativity. It's a pity we're not on video, otherwise I'd show you my kitchen wall covered in all the plans that I've got for membership. It's absolutely fabulous. So I just love being in the zone. I love being in flow and at my kitchen table. It's the best place in the world.
Now, I can relate to that because I've been in your challenges, I've seen your lives, and it's all done through your kitchen, round your kitchen table, and we love it. So for people that don't, I know where you are on Facebook. Can you give us some details so if people are looking, they can actually come and watch your lives? Have you got your Facebook group? If you can just read it out. When I upload this, I will be adding all these details so you know exactly where to find Steph if you want to follow her. But I want to give Steph the chance to actually say where it is we can find her as well.
So you can find my Facebook group, which is called Stephanie Thompson, Get Focused, Fast, Attracting Clients, Business Alignment. So you can find me there, and if you go onto my personal profile, Stephanie Thompson, then you'll find it in the links as well. It'll be the Facebook group. So yes, you're very, very welcome to come and join me. There's a button that you can press join and you answer some questions, and in you come. We're having some fab times in there, aren't we, Pearl?
Yes.
You're one of my active members, and we're absolutely building a superb community, and the comments that I got on the live this morning were just so engaging. It was brilliant.
And the vibration in that group. People are so aligned and you help each other. And it's lovely. If someone's got an idea or if they've got a problem, we all say, oh, well, this is how I've tried it. This is how it's worked for me. And you find that you will work through it together. So I can't sort of praise Steph and her groups highly enough. So definitely, like I said, I'll put all these details in the description when this podcast is uploaded, but I wanted Steph to actually give that those details whilst we were there.
Thank you, Angel.
Then next question, what tools do you use that makes your work life easier?
So I promote free systems. So I use the free version of Canva. I use the free version of MailChimp. And I absolutely love the scheduling buttons in Facebook. And that's what makes my life easier. So if I'm particularly in flow and all the content's coming out, I can record it. Oh, Zoom. I do use Zoom, free version of Zoom too. So I can record it on Zoom so that I can then schedule it into the Facebook group and we can share all of that sort of thing. I've got a 5-day challenge coming up. I know you're going to ask me about that later, but I can schedule those early morning videos so that I don't have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, etc. So, yes, I love the scheduling buttons too. They're great.
Yes, and I can actually vouch for all of this because these are things that Steph's taught me. And if you've got that time available, definitely join Steph, on these challenges. We learn so much, and like she says, it's free, so you can actually spend what budget you've got, you put into your business, and actually setting up. Steph goes right the way through and shows you, and it's brilliant. It's amazing. You come out the other end and think, great, yes, I've achieved so much, and that is brilliant.
Thanks, Claire.
Right, go on to the next question. What would you have done differently in your life if you'd known then what you know now?
Well, I have actually made some notes here, but if I'd have known then what I know now, I've actually been married twice and divorced twice. So perhaps I wouldn't have quite done that. But it wasn't my fault at all, I've got to say. When you find out about the fourth woman, then you think, I've got to draw a line. I'm just being taken for a fool. But that said, what I've actually written down is stop being on the hamster wheel of corporate life. If I'd have known then what I know now, I would not have made myself so ill with working in corporate life, working 15 and 20-hour days. It was ridiculous. And when I look, we've talked about the stress levels. When I think about it now, I wish I'd have stopped sooner. I wish I'd stopped corporate life much sooner, because life now is just so enjoyable.
Yeah, I can relate, as you know, when I've done that, when I've been working with central government and I do the Westminster run, I'm lucky if I get 3 hours sleep a night. And you get to the stage, you work flat out and you think, I can do this, it's great. And then you stop, you might have a long weekend. And before you know it, you're full of cold, you're completely run down because your body hits you smack. That's it. You've done too much. You have to stop.
Absolutely. Since I left corporate world, I've not been ill.
Yeah.
And that's really interesting, because in corporate world, it just seemed to be one thing after another. But now, no. Fit and well, it's great.
And I think as well, I've always seen from where I've done corporate and I've done other forms of business, you look at that almost from an HR perspective. If there's a lot of illness in a company, I'd be talking to the senior people to say, look at this, there's a problem. When there's no illness, you've got happy staff, you've got a happy workforce, which then means that your clients and customers are happy as well.
Very true. Very true indeed.
It's brilliant. Right. Next question. What is your biggest challenge and why?
So, because I have a stress-less life, which is lovely, when I start learning new software, that can be a little bit expanding. So getting my head around the intricacies of software. So at the moment I'm setting up a membership site, and that's expanding my knowledge quite nicely at the moment. So I'm doing all right, I'm holding my own, but that's what is stretching me at the moment, because I am at a point where my clients want access to what I teach, and they don't want to wait until the next quarter when I'm going to put the program on, etc. So I'm trying to make my work more accessible to more people on a more regular basis. So that's how I'm going to do it.
And it's something I know that you've taught me through your challenges. As you're doing that, you're working with software, that's where you're getting your dopamine hits, where you're actually, it's something new, and that learning curve where you're actually training and learning. And then as soon as you've done that, you share it with everyone else. So you're actually training and helping other people at the same time.
Absolutely. Yes, that's the way to do it. Learn it and share it. It's the only way to do it. Loving
it. Right. Next question. How do you want to be remembered?
From a business perspective, that I made business easy for new coaches. That would be a perfect thing for me, to make business flow with ease and grace rather than it being this thing. Because, and this is no disrespect to people who've worked in corporate world, it's very, very different in corporate world to running your own business. And there's lots of skills you don't necessarily realise you need to run your own business. So for those people to be able to go through that learning curve with ease and grace is just perfect. The fact that I brought love and joy to everybody that I speak with, because I'm always smiling, everything is I can do. I love that. That I shared my knowledge willingly. And then from a personal point of view, this will make you smile, make you laugh, for my knitting, because I love knitting.
And the stuff you share through Facebook that you've knitted, it is gorgeous. It is gorgeous. I used to do knitting with the chunky wool and the big needles because it grew quicker. But then, and then I went on to a knitting machine, which was, I did lots of lovely things, but of course, then you feel like you're cheating if you're using a knitting machine. And the things that you produce are wonderful. But of course, the other thing that's so good, when I used to knit with my Fitbit, every time I put the wool round, I used to get extra steps.
I'm going to have to put the Fitbit on the other hand then, see if I can pick up. But yes, from a business point of view, that I made business easy. That's the one thing that's I want to be known for.
I see some slogans out of this. I really do. The things you're saying, it is brilliant, and that's almost like a strap line for me. From my marketing background, I'm already thinking that's a fantastic strap line to actually go and put out.
Yeah, I agree. I'm writing it down as we speak.
Right, then we'll move on to the next question. We're learning so much. We've got so much fantastic knowledge coming through with this, Steph. I'm really loving this. As a child, what did you want to be, and how close to that dream are you now?
Oh dear, this question made me laugh so much, because as a child I wanted to be a teacher. Well, now ask me why I wanted to be a teacher.
Go on then, right, tell me why did you want to be a teacher?
Because I wanted to rub the blackboard. It wasn't the lessons, I wanted to clean the blackboard. That's why I wanted to be a teacher. That said, with merriment and laughter, on a more serious note, I absolutely adore training. I have stood up in front of huge numbers, 250, 300 people in a room and trained them. I've been all over the world training people. I love standing on stage and training people. I love doing it just on Zoom like this. I'm in my element. So from being a teacher to being a trainer, yes. What I teachers of young people, they have my every admiration, because it's a job that I couldn't do. I don't think I would have the patience to work with young people. But as a trainer, because to me there's a difference, as a trainer, I think I'm actually living what I wanted to do when I was a child. It's just in a different format. So, yeah, so from cleaning the blackboard, bearing in mind we don't even have blackboards nowadays, so that's showing my age. Yes, I think I'm actually living what I wanted to do, believe it or not.
And that is lovely to hear, because you don't get that so much these days. Quite often people have this set idea, or they have what family has instilled in them that they need to do, and then they start to rebel, and as they get older and they see exactly what their likes and dislikes are, and it's lovely to see how you've actually grown right the way through. And again, I go back to that passion, and it shows completely in everything that you're talking about, and it is so obvious that this is the perfect role for you because you love it so much. And as they say, always do something that you love, because it doesn't feel like a job. And working for yourself, it's you want to get up in the morning and you deliver because you're loving what you're doing.
I do. I absolutely love my life. I'm very, very lucky, and I am grateful for it every day.
Oh, that is brilliant, and I'm sure that the listeners to this will actually, you can hear the passion in your voice with this. Now, this next one, we could go on for ages with this one, but I throw it in because I have a love of books. And I've put, can you name 3 titles of your favourite books and why you've chosen them?
Well, I was surprised that it took me a while to think about this one. And I came up with Harry Potter because and again, I'm going to show my age now. When I was a child, I used to read Enid Blyton's Famous Five and the Secret Seven.
So did I.
And to be introduced to Harry Potter in my adult life, I just found it reminiscent. Totally different to Enid Blyton. Totally different. But it just... It was fascinating, and to get the new book each time when it came out, it was just absolutely brilliant. So I thought I ought to put Harry Potter in there. I am a huge advocate of Tony Robbins, and I read his book Unlimited Power many years ago. And it actually saved my marriage at one point. I can remember it now. I was laying on a beach in Gran Canaria reading the book, and it gave you some exercises. And I was actually doing these exercises as I lay on the beach, and it saved my marriage. My husband at the time was having an affair, and it helped me cope with that situation. We stayed married for another 7 years, which was lovely. But I find I have followed Tony. I've done all his trainings. I've actually progressed up his ladder. I'm one of his senior leaders. And I just find the man's power, knowledge, energy is just phenomenal. And the other one I'm going to throw in is a very old book. In fact, I've just thought of another one. Anyway, this one, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Yeah. So when you think that was written in 1901 or something like that, I can't remember the exact date, 1924 or something. This energy work and spirituality and belief in, the energy and all of that, he actually wrote about it. He was writing about visualization and everything, even in those days. And the other one that I've just thought of was The Black Prince by Machiavelli. I read that one, and that's all about strategy, and I found that one absolutely fascinating too. So there you go.
I am
one extreme to the other there.
Yes, I love that, and I think I'd agree with you for quite a few of those. With the Harry Potter, I read it when it first came out, and of course I did English as my degree, so I looked at it and I thought, yes, I can see it for children. Is it as good for adults to read? And then I flipped it on the head, and I thought it was so wonderful to see children reading again, because they've gone through a stage where people didn't want to do that because all the computer games had come out, and people would rather play that than actually read. And to see that, I mean, I know for my niece, I bought her the Twilight books. I think that's the first things I bought her. And she sent me a card and she said, thank you for teaching me to love reading. And that's why I always put that question in, because that love of books and how you can learn, and it can be fiction, it can be non-fiction, depending on, I mean, for the work we do, a lot of what we're doing is research. So we're reading research so we know that we're at the top of our game on what we're doing. It's a while since I've actually read for enjoyment, because and actually to see that, it's lovely to see that you've done across the whole prism. So you've got things, and I'm sure it'll get people thinking. And as soon as you said the magic words, Tony Robbins, I'm sure these people are going to be, their ears are going to be pricking up. And again, it shows on the way you train and the way you actually share your knowledge, and it's just building on that. So it's
I've
brilliant.
learned so much from him through his books and through being in all his events. I mean, I've travelled all over the world to be in his events. I've supported his events. I've done so much in his events, from helping him as well as being a participant. It's just absolutely fabulous. So, yes, I've walked on fire, and I've jumped off poles, and I've broken wood with my bare hands, and amongst all sorts of other things, and met some amazing people as well. So, yeah.
That is brilliant. Brilliant. Now, I might know some of these answers that come in for this next one. Who would you say are your key influencers and why?
Well, I have got to say Tony Robbins. He has influenced me dramatically over the last few years. I've met some amazing people through him. I've learned so much through him. And it's just been a phenomenal journey. Tony talks about full immersion. He wanted to learn polo, so he hired a specialist and he spent 2 weeks fully learning polo. So I've done that over the space of 2 years. So yes, definitely Tony Robbins. The other people that are huge influences in my life are my mum and dad. So when you bear in mind that my mum is 85, my dad is 84, and they finished work last year, they grew plants, wholesale plants. They grew things like your alyssum and your Brelia for your garden in the summer, and they grew cyclamen in the winter and that sort of thing. And it's a manual job. At 84 and 85, they were tugging Dutch trolleys loaded full of plants. Dad was jumping in and out of the lorry and delivering them all around Derbyshire and all this sort of thing. Dad gets up at about 4:30 to drink a pot of tea and read the paper, and then you'll start work at 5:30. And their work ethic has been phenomenal. And they have been in business for 50 years. So I've experienced this work ethic right from a very, very young age. And to not put them in this answer would be disrespectful. They have influenced me dramatically. My dad's got the green fingers, and my mum, she's got the business head. She did all the accounts and that sort of thing. I can't fault them. It was a phenomenal childhood, despite the fact that they had to run the business, because, as you can imagine, plants, you couldn't leave them for a fortnight while you went on holiday. They need constant attention. And for my dad to have lived his passion for 50 years and for me to witness that is just a brilliant grounding for what I do now.
Oh, that is lovely. And again, I can see so much where we have in common. My dad's 83 and he's still working, and that's where I get my work ethic from. And I can remember growing up, my dad was a god. He was on that pedestal, and what dad said went until I hit my teenage years, and then my brain started to click and question a few things. But yes, it is lovely to see. So I can see, yes. So three very special influencers there. Definitely. Right, if I go on to this next one, this is probably the longest worded question of all of these that I use. If you could share a great meal with anyone, alive or dead, what would the meal be and who would it be with?
I gave this an awful lot of thought because I was thinking of, world influencers and all of that sort of thing. And do you know what it came to when I came right down to it? I would love to sit round the dinner table having my mum's Christmas dinner with my homemade Christmas pudding, because that's what we do every year. I would have my grandchildren, my daughters and their partners, myself, my brother and sister, my mum and dad, and my grandparents. I have such phenomenal memories of my grandparents, and to sit round and to have them talking with my mum and dad like when I was a kid, and I remember those memories, and for my grandchildren to meet my grandparents, and it would just be out of this world. And to have it on a Christmas day when everybody's relaxed and we're all just sat enjoying the moment, it would be bliss. It would absolutely be bliss.
And this is what's so interesting. Both yourself and Sarah Palmer that I spoke to, that I've done the podcast with as well, you have both said family, which is really, yes, which is very interesting. And it's almost come down to the same meal, because we were with Sarah was talking about crispy roast potatoes, and we were saying about these sort of favourite things, and it's lovely. And this is where I think it's showing that whole roundness and completeness of your personality, that you don't need to go out and find all these people, because you've got that support and all that love, and it's close to home and it's family, and you've got that. And that's how you're so special when you share your message and everything, and that's where it comes through.
I must admit, I am very, very lucky that I've got the support of the family. In fact, I've had a phone call from my daughter this afternoon. She says, Mum, you've put something on Facebook and it's a link and it's not worked for me, and I'm going to sort it out on Wayne's phone. That's her husband. I'm going to have a look on his phone because I'm already in the group. And if it doesn't work, I'll let you know so we can get it sorted for you. I've got that support. Just simple things like, does the link work? Yeah. It's great that you've got somebody that you can rely on. So, yes, it's fabulous. I love family. Always have done.
Yes.
Real home bird.
And also, going back to your groups and your challenges, it's almost like we're one big family, the way we all work together. And that's what it feels like. And that's the message that's coming through with everything. And it's really strong, and that's brilliant.
Brilliant, because that's what I want. I want people to be able to feel as though they are welcome, and whatever question they ask, if I can't answer it, somebody else in the group can, or I can try and tag somebody in, say, I think this lady can help, or whatever. I want them to feel at home. That's the thing, that it's a warm environment that's safe, and they can come and practice their Facebook Lives, and they can come and practice their elevator pitch and get feedback if it works and all of that sort of thing. That's what I want out of that group. So it's really kind of you to say thank you, Phil.
Yes. Like I say, and I mean, our listeners will actually see this over and over again. I can't say it enough. I love working with you. I learn so much from you.
I'm glad that you do. I love it. And I learn lots from you too, Pearl. Of course I do. And I should say that more often. I really do learn a lot from you too. It's great.
Thank you. We go on to the next question. Now, this is where all the listeners will find, this is when you take your pen and paper and you write down all these details, because this is a must. You need to get all this information, because Steph is just fantastic. And the next question is, what services or items do you offer to your clients or customers?
So, I do the 5-day challenge that is free to anybody who wants to come and participate. That's all about how to conquer the overwhelm and get focused fast. I am building a membership site so that all my training can be available. If you saw my kitchen wall, I've actually got 16 months of content already mapped out for going into that membership group. I do the VIP session, which is a 4-week concentrated effort in getting your business up and running. So if you have funds that you want to invest and you want to get really focused really fast, we do 60 steps in 4 weeks and really do get you moving forward. And it is a lot of work in there, but if you're determined and you want to make it happen and you want it fast, then that's the way to do it. I am a mentor for energy alignment, so I do EAM sessions, and then what's growing is my energy vision boards.
Yes.
I love doing energy vision boards. I do mine every 6 months, and so much has manifested for me, and I think that comes from what you've picked up, Phil, is that I'm in flow all the time. And my vision boards, they just manifest so quickly. And I teach how to create energy vision boards as part of my package. It's all on the website.
And can you tell us what the name of the website? So I will add this.
Thompson Coaching.
Yeah.
Yes. It's just Stephanie Thompson Coaching. Everything I do is Stephanie Thompson Coaching. So,
is it
Stephanie Thompson.
.com or .co.uk? I can't.
.com.
.com. So, and like I said, I will put all these details in there. I just want to make sure that everyone knows and you don't miss it. And I can say, I think I've taken part in practically everything you've run, haven't I?
You have.
And,
yes, you have, sweetheart.
And I have loved it. And I mean, I'm probably at the top of the game at what I do. And I thought, yes, I can do business. I can be a bit of a big head, so I apologise there. But I really thought, yes, I know that. I don't need to learn anything. And I have learnt and grown every time I work with Steph. And I've done the challenges over and over again. Every time they come up, I make sure I take part because, yes, I can do all the intellectual property that I share through the marketing. Yes, I can do that with my eyes closed, but actually clearing that overwhelm of where I need to put this out, I need to do that, I need to do that. And I mean, Steph, you know, I come into this with so many different ideas and you'll go, whoa, stop now, come on, put it into place. And every single thing we've done, I always come out and I've achieved something. And it's just growing. And I'd say I feel more in flow now than I ever have in my life. And I put that down to the work I've done with you because I build on that work and what we've done with the spiritual and the energy work and everything. And it all just comes together. I mean, the listeners, you will probably see, I can't praise Steph enough, but it's really helped my business. I've seen her help so many people. I just can't say. Get to the end of this podcast and go find Steph's website and make sure you can follow all those challenges because you will not, it'll be the best thing you've done. Just do it. That's all I'm going to say is just do it.
Just do it. Yes, just do it. That's what I mean, I think my corporate background was all about processes and that sort of thing, which sounds very stodgy, but in actual fact, I can see the steps for somebody to take to grow their business. And you know, you've done that 4-week VIP program with me, and we go through steps. Yes. Every day there's 3 steps, and it's just simple, just builds on it time and time again. No, I love it. I love what I do, and I love the people that I work with. It's fabulous.
Yes. And also, I can see from the way you train, because you put those foundations in, you suddenly everyone hits it a different thing, and we get those aha moments, and you can see it when you're trained where the light bulb goes on and we're firing, because all the training that you've given us, all that foundation suddenly works, and that's it, you're off, and you've got your confidence there, and you know what the next steps are. And this is where you can all come from different backgrounds, and the business you want to run will be completely different, but the steps you teach us works for everyone, no matter what area of business you're working in and what you want to build.
That's right, yes, it's all about the step-by-step guide, and that's what I say. I give you the step-by-step guide on how to get from A to B. And, you know, concurring with what you've just said, it doesn't matter where in your business you are, you will get something because, you know, we're constantly growing, and the process that we go through, there will be those aha moments each time, because if nothing else, it's what you've forgotten or what you've remembered, or you think, oh, God, I should have done that. Yes, that's why that didn't work. And you can go and put it right. It's great.
Yes. Oh, yes. I love it. I love it. I'm saying that a lot, aren't I? But that's because I do.
My darling.
I do. Right. We've come to the very last question now. Mm-hmm. Do you have any special offers on at present?
Well, would you believe that when we set up this date, I hadn't even decided, but last week I started marketing for my 5-day challenge. So I'm not asking them to commit to signing up to email lists or anything. They can just come and learn. And all they've got to do is pop into my Facebook group, and as we've said earlier, Stephanie Thompson, Get Focused, Fast, Attracting Clients. Come into that group. The challenge will be running from Monday, the 27th of April, and 2020, just in case you're listening on another day, on another year. And come and see what we do. Come and have a look. Come and join in all the discussions. Come and pitch your business, because we've got various threads where you can come and share your freebies or your courses, or you can come and practice your elevator pitch or whatever. And I will be in there every day from the 27th of April for 5 days, doing lives, talking to everybody, sharing, and we will be conquering the overwhelm and how to get focused fast. And that's what you will come out with. There'll be worksheets that you can follow, etc. It'll be fabulous. And then that will lead on, in the name of transparency, it will lead on to me promoting the membership. And I've already said in a live this morning, the membership, the first one will be the mechanics of a 5-day challenge. So you'll be able to see exactly how I've done it. So you can learn too. How's that?
Yes, and I can't, it's just brilliant. And like I said, I've worked with Steph, I've followed all of this, and I just can't wait. I get so excited. I'm like a kid at Christmas, and as soon as Steph says this coming, I'm the first one, right, yes, when is it? And I'm going to join, because it does, your business can't do without this. What Steph teaches you, you need. If you want to have a business that's going to work and you've got the foundation set right and you're actually going to get there and connect with your clients, you need to be working with Steph, because that's going to get you on the right path to actually go forward. So I can't praise your work enough.
Thank you, Pearl. That's absolutely lovely. And I'm honoured that you have chosen to work with, allow me to guide you through that process. So I'm really, really honoured. And of course, you'll be there in the membership. I know that for a fact. And you'll be able to have access to all the information whenever you want it. And we'll do group coaching, and we'll do lives, and we'll do all sorts of things in both the Facebook group and in the membership. So everybody is welcome. And it's not going to be excessive, because it's going to be £20 a month. So it's not even going to be excessive once you're in the membership. You can get all this fabulous training for such a small amount of money. So there you go.
That is brilliant. Thank you. And again, to the listeners, like I've said, I'm going to put all of the details where you can contact Steph into the description around this podcast. And I can't say enough. Just make sure that you can work with Steph. And to say to Steph, thank you so much. It has been a pleasure to speak to you. We've learned so much.
It's always a pleasure to speak with you. I love that we've engaged so easily through all the things that we do together, and I just love it. And it's been an honour to talk to you and your wonderful audience too. So thank you for inviting me. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Pearls of Wisdom podcast. We hope you have enjoyed the content shared. Please share with others who would like to enjoy these interviews and discussions. If you would like to support the podcast, please follow the link in the episode description. If you want to be a guest on the show, reach out and let's discuss next steps. Until the next time, enjoy your listening.